Your dream home could become your worst nightmare, and you might not even know why until it's too late. I've been doing feng shui analysis for years, and I've seen this happen over and over again. People buy or rent a house, move in with excitement, and then within months they're stressed, their health starts declining, maybe their relationships get rocky, and they think it's just life, right? But here's what I've learned from analyzing hundreds of properties. There are specific, measurable things that most first-time buyers and renters completely miss. Stay with me because I'm going to share something at the end that most people can't even see, even real estate experts. But it could be slowly draining your energy every single day you live there. Mistake number 7 is definitely the one you don't want to overlook. Mistake number 1, choose pretty house over location. Okay, so you're scrolling through property listings, right? And you see this gorgeous kitchen, beautiful bathroom, and you're already imagining yourself living there. I get it, we've all been there. But here's the thing, and this is something real estate people have been saying forever. Location trumps everything else. Every single time. Now, I want you to try something simple. Take the address of any house you're considering and draw a circle around it. About 5 kilometers or 3 miles radius. You can do this on Google Maps. It takes only a few minutes. Within that circle, you want to see schools, hospitals, markets, and decent transportation. If you must drive 30 minutes just to get groceries, 1 hour to get to workplace, that's going to cost you a lot of time every day. Young people especially, you want to be where opportunities are happening. You can always move somewhere quieter when you're older and have more flexibility. Kids and teens should live near school, while elders should not live far away from hospital and supermarket. From feng shui perspective, this makes perfect sense too. Your home needs to be connected to flowing, vibrant energy, what we call good qi. If you're isolated from everything that makes life convenient, you're basically cutting yourself off from that flow. Mistake number 2, not checking surrounding terrain. Water damage is one of those things that can completely destroy your investment, and it's surprisingly easy to check for if you know what to look for. Here's what you need to do. Your property should sit at least 3 to 5 feet higher than the street level. Anything less, and you're asking for trouble. You want to see at least one every 300 feet or 100 meters, and definitely ask the neighbors about flooding. They'll tell you the truth, because they've lived through it. In Feng Shui, we say water represents wealth, but stagnant water? That brings financial loss. A house that floods is literally money flowing away from you. Look, flood insurance is expensive when you can get it, and sometimes you just can't. It's much easier to choose the right spot from the beginning. That is just about water element troubles only. You also need to check other 4 elements. For example, like fire element, make sure there is no wildfire, burned down houses, flammable warehouses, or electrical problems in your living area. In dense neighborhood, fire is sometimes more scary than water. For wood element, ask around whether there are falling trees in windy season that could potentially damage your house. If you live next to a forest, this brings wild animals and insects issues. Invading plants is also a wood element problem. This brings shade, an important factor of the following mistake. For metal element, beware of surrounding building. Check if there is any sharp objects or corners pointing at your house. Too many machines and constructions are evidences of metal chi abundance area. Last element, earth, is obviously connected to your own house and its land. You don't want your house to be built in soft ground or slanted surface. Most of the mistakes in this video are related to earth element issues. Let's get going. Mistake number 3, buying a dark house. Natural light isn't just about having a bright, cheerful space. It has many other functions too. Dark homes literally cost you money every month in electricity bills, and they can seriously affect your health. Dark, damp spaces encourage mold, and once you have a mold problem, you're looking at thousands of dollars to fix it properly. In some countries, they literally tear houses apart to deal with mold. It is also habitats of not-so-friendly animals and insects like rats, roaches, mosquitoes. So this one is serious stuff. Here is an easy way to avoid that problem from the beginning. Your smartphone probably has a light sensor, or you can download something like Light Meter. You want to see readings between 200 and 500 luck units during the day in your main living areas. If you're getting below 100 luck, that is lacking of light problem. Do this test at different times, 10 a.m., 2 p.m., 4 p.m., to see how the light changes throughout the day. Count the hours of direct sunlight too. Normally, you really want at least 4 to 6 hours of actual sunlight hitting your windows daily. In Feng Shui, we call sunlight yang energy. It's essential for prosperity and health. A home without enough natural light becomes what we call a yin house. And well, let's just say, that's not where you want to be living. Mistake number 4. Forgetting that you need to breathe fresh air. Poor air circulation is one of those things you don't notice right away, but it'll slowly drive you crazy. When your cooking smells never go away, the air feels stuffy, and you end up running the cooking hood or AC constantly. In a well-ventilated space, that smell should be mostly gone within 30 minutes. If it lingers for hours, that tells you something is wrong. Make sure you can get airflow from one side of the room to the other. I call this cross-ventilation. You can also need check humidity levels. Your phone might have a sensor for this, or grab a cheap hygrometer. You want to see between 30 and 50% humidity. Above 60% and you're looking at mold issues. Below 30 and everything dries out. Your skin, your furniture, everything. This is the standard recommendation from experts like the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, but there may be some differences between countries. From Feng Shui perspective, good qi flow requires gentle air movement. Stagnant air means stagnant fortune, literally. Mistake number 5. Choose a noisy house to live in. Noise pollution is sneaky. You visit a house on a Tuesday afternoon. Everything seems quiet and you think you're good to go. But what about rush hour? What about daytime when people are doing construction? What about that karaoke place that doesn't get busy until 9 p.m.? Visit the property at different times if you can afford it. I mean, really different. 7 a.m., 2 p.m., 6 p.m., 9 p.m., and definitely weekend night time. The more times you visit, the more accurate your decision will be. Download a decibel meter app. Sound meter or decibel X work fine. For residential areas, you want to see 35 to 45 decibels during the day and under 35 at night. In Feng Shui terms, excessive noise creates shiqi, negative energy that disrupts harmony. It literally triggers your fight or flight response, not a good thing when you're trying to relax at home. In addition to noise, smells from neighborhood is another problem. Here's something most people don't think about. That is checking what's upwind from you. If there's a restaurant or factory upwind, you're going to smell it every time the wind blows your direction. Mistake number 6. Not doing neighborhood security check. Safety isn't something you want to assume. You need to actually investigate, and it's easier than you think. In my country, I just take a ride around the neighborhood in the evening. Not late night, just early evening when it's getting dark. Are there streetlights? Are businesses still open? Do you see people walking around comfortably? Here's an interesting indicator that most people don't know about. Look for cats and dogs. If you see pets are walked freely, that usually means the area is safe and the community is doing well financially. If you only see roaches, flies, or lots of rats, that's telling you something to beware about the neighborhood. Areas near police stations or community centers tend to be safer, obviously, but also look for signs of community investment, well-maintained streets, good lighting, local businesses that have been around for a while. Ask the neighbors directly. Most people will give you honest answers about safety because they want good neighbors too. Unsafe neighborhood doesn't just affect your peace of mind, it affects your property value and your insurance costs too. Mistake number 7. Ignoring the invisible forces that could be draining your energy. Now, this is where things get interesting, and it's something most people never think to check, but I've seen it enough times to know it's real. Some properties just feel off. People get anxious for no reason. They can't sleep well, electronics act weird, and they can't explain why. Normal people call this haunted house. Others call it paranormal activities house. Usually, it has a measurable cause. You can actually test this yourself. Download an EMF detector app or buy a simple EMF reader. You want to see readings under 0.5 milligauss in living spaces in best cases. Above 2.5 milligauss consistently, there is a hidden problem of this house. Same with Wi-Fi. If it's unusually weak or keeps dropping, investigate why. Check your cell signal throughout the house. If it is getting weak, something might be interfering. Look around for power lines, transformers, cell towers. Try to stay at least 90 meters or 300 feet away from major electrical infrastructure. One of my customer rented a house for her employees. At night, there are strangle noise of machines working. Two of her employee even saw a ghost in shape of a woman in the building. These things make her people feel uneasy and tired. So she asked me to do a feng shui check. I found that those things happen because the house positioned in major void lines, adding the force of two electrical lines boxes in front of the house, plus the tai sui energy of the year. After the solution was given, those paranormal activities disappear. In feng shui, we understand that certain locations can drain human energy. What people used to call haunted houses often turn out to have electromagnetic disturbances that create negative qi. The ancient knowledge and modern science are actually saying the same thing. I have a video called The Science of Feng Shui that explained this. You can watch them here. But you should trust your gut feeling too. If a place makes you feel uneasy and you can't explain why, pay attention to that. Otherwise, bring an active child or puppy along when you visit the new house. If they act strangely and don't want to go to this house, it is an alert there is a problem about metaphysics. This is an old Chinese feng shui tip to recognize these kind of houses. Mistake number 9, not having professional checks. Never skip professional inspections. A perfect surface could hide serious problems under it. Get the plumber, electrician, builder, pest inspector, lawyer, banker, and maybe a feng shui expert if you need, to check the whole thing. Of course, it costs money up front, but it can be the insurance fee that saves you tens of thousands of dollars later. The more experience you have, the less money you will pay for these checking costs. I've seen beautiful houses with poor electrical systems or gorgeous kitchens having dripping problem. Sellers know how to list a property to look good, but they can't fake the infrastructure. In feng shui, we always look beyond the surface to understand what's really going on. Same principle applies here. You need to understand what you're really buying and find out if that house is suitable for your bazzi or not for long-term health and wealth. Professional inspectors know what to look for and where to look. Don't try to save money here. If you have a friend who work in above professions, you can ask them to check the house and give you valuable advices. It will reduce your fees even more. Mistake number 10. Being too emotional when making decisions. I see this all the time. Someone walks into a house and falls in love immediately. Maybe it's the way the light hits the kitchen, or they love the backyard, and suddenly they're ready to make an offer. Look, emotional connection is important. You should like where you live, but don't let emotions override practical concerns. Make a list of your non-negotiables before you start looking. How many bedrooms do you actually need? What's your maximum commute time? How much can you really afford for monthly payments? Stick to that list. The best decisions come from balancing heart and mind, emotional connection with practical wisdom. This is probably the biggest financial decision you'll make. Give it the careful consideration it deserves. At the end, buying your first home doesn't have to be overwhelming, but it is a big decision, and these mistakes I've shared with you, they're all preventable if you know what to look for. A good house to stay brings 15% ROI for not only yourself, but for all of your family members. Plus, you want a place that actually makes your life better instead of creating problems you have to solve. When you combine practical, modern knowledge with ancient wisdom about energy and environment, you get a complete picture that most people miss. There is no flawless house, but there are perfect houses that suits your own needs, like supporting your health, your relationships, your prosperity, basically everything that matters in your life. If this video helped you to learn something useful, hit that subscribe button. I will share more content like this where you and I could blend practical advice with traditional wisdom. If you're currently house hunting and want me to take a feng shui look at a property, here is my consulting link. Remember, you're not just buying a house, you're choosing the foundation for the next chapter of your life. Choose wisely. I am John of Asian Wisdoms. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.